Mary Elizabeth Parker here, and today I'm going to talk to you about The Breakdown by B.A. Paris. Now, this book doesn't come out until June 20th, but I really did enjoy it. I was lucky enough to get an advanced reading copy of it. And if you like psychological thrillers and like to know what goes on inside somebody's mind, it's really great for that. The whole book comes from the perspective of the main character, and she feels like she's losing her mind, and there are a lot of events that take place to make her feel that way, and I don't want to give away too much. Her mother had early onset dementia, so part of the reason she thinks she's losing her mind and whatnot during this book. And it was really a fun ride. I have to admit, I did figure out the ending pretty much well before the ending, but for me, that happens a lot. I don't know about you, but it happens a lot to me. So I figured out the even motive for the ending, but it was still a fun journey. For me, a book is about the journey, not about the ending. So I do suggest it to those who do like psychological thrillers, but if you don't care about people's emotions, it's not for you. Let's be honest. There are people who that's just not their thing, and that's fine. So I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments, and feel free to like and share, and click those links if you want to get a hold of me. Have a great day. Again, this is Mary Elizabeth Parker. Bye. Okay, so this part of the video obviously is being filmed at a different time than the original one. I showed the first part to a friend of mine, and they pointed out I didn't really mention that much about this book. Now, I have found out doing some research just to refresh my memory, since I did start another book since then, that this book has been released in the UK already. It's just not out in the States. Again, I got an advanced reading copy, so didn't know that part. So there may be some spoilers ahead. I'm sorry if you were watching this and you ended up getting spoilers you didn't want, but this is a warning. So this book starts out with, it's the end of the school year. This woman's a teacher named Cassie, and she leaves a party. She could have gone to that after party type deal, but she chooses to go home. It's pouring rain. She's promised her husband she's not going to take this shortcut through the woods near their house. They live in a pretty remote area. But it's raining so badly, and on the highway she feels unsafe, so she does decide to take the shortcut. But she doesn't want to tell her husband this, of course. On the way home, through the woods, even though it's also a bit dicey, at least there are no other cars really, because it's a little more remote, and apparently even cell phones have trouble working here, which she doesn't think of at the time. I'll tell you a little bit more on that soon. She does find somebody pulled over on the side of the road in the woods, and she wonders if maybe they've broken down, thus the title, The Breakdown. So it's pouring rain, she doesn't have an umbrella in her car, so she decides she's going to pull over, but she's not sure if this person needs help or not. So she sits in her car, waits to see if the person gets out of their car, or if they're going to honk as a signal to tell them that they need help, flash their lights, something, any kind of cue. She even will start up and then stop to let them know that she is planning on leaving if they don't give her indication, hoping that that will prompt them to let them know that she's going to leave unless they need help. So finally she leaves this person on the side of the road, doesn't go and check in the car, gets home, husband's relieved to have her home and everything, and goes to sleep, forgets about the fact that she left somebody on the side of the road. Next morning, they wake up, and it turns out somebody's been murdered. And it's a person in that woods, in that car. And it probably happened just moments after she left this person, because she did see that this woman was alive in the car. She didn't recognize the person at the time. But it turns out through the story that she knows the woman casually. She's a new friend, just starting their friendship. And so she's feeling even more guilty that A, she left somebody who ended up being murdered, and then much more guilty knowing this is a woman who had a life, and she knew she had 2 young twin daughters, and really kind of feeling guilty, but she can't tell her husband that she took this shortcut home and that she witnessed that this woman was still alive at a certain point. And of course the cops are asking for people to call in. She still feels like she can't. At some point she does call in anonymously and lets them know that as of such and such time, this woman was alive. Then she starts getting phone calls, seemingly with nobody on the line, but she claims she can sense the other person on the line, that they're there, they're just not saying anything. And she starts to worry that it's the murderer. She's also feeling like her memory is failing, which she was the caretaker for her mother at the end when her mother had early onset dementia. So of course, any little memory flaw, she worries that that's going to turn out to be the early onset dementia just starting up. So she already has this concern. But she seems to be forgetting everything. Appointments, gifts she was meant to buy for somebody that was allegedly her idea. Just many different things. So it keeps going on. In fact, at one point, she doesn't remember how to use the washing machine, the espresso machine, the microwave, and it keeps going on through the story. There will be an explanation at the end. Hopefully that doesn't give away too much, but there will be an explanation as to what is really going on for her, whether it's her losing her mind and going through early onset dementia, or if there's somebody messing with her. Like I said, I did figure out the ending. So if you're not into that part, you're not gonna want to read this. Some of them are cliches for some of the things that turn out to happen. But like I said, I really enjoyed having it just from the perspective of Cassie and how she's experiencing it. So you only know what she knows. She worries that the murderer has been spying on her. There's a new neighbor that she keeps thinking is this man watching the house. She forgets the alarm code when they get an alarm put in because she is so concerned that there's a murderer still hasn't been found. And luckily it's her summer break because she is so distraught, and then she's also put on medication for her anxiety. And she's always sleeping as a result when she's on the medicine. At first she resists it, but when she starts taking it, it just conks her out for the entire time that she's on it. So it is an interesting development how it goes through, and her dealing with her guilt issues and not remembering things and feeling like she's ruining her marriage in a lot of ways because of forgetting so much. She has a good friend that she's known since childhood. She has inherited a lot of money from her parents. I think that's important to let you know. They thought, when her mother was sick, she thought that they were broke. But it turned out that they had money that they left her. And her good friend, like I said, she's known since a little girl. It was like another sister. And she's there for her throughout this whole thing too. So those are the two main support group peoples that she has. Is her best friend that she's known her whole life, who's like a sister, and her husband. And like I said, she just doesn't know what to do or where to turn or how to fix these problems. Because again, she feels like she's being made to feel like she's paranoid. But she gets these phone calls only when her husband is not at home. If he's home for some reason, the phone calls don't come. So she assumes that the murderer, whom she's assuming is calling her, and her husband keeps saying, no, it's probably just some telemarketer from India. But for some reason is watching the house to see when she's alone and only bothering her when she's alone. And if she's not alone, he doesn't call. So there are some other characters, obviously, than just the husband and the friend, and she even starts to suspect them at some point of some of these other characters of having something to do with what's going on with her. But, like I said, if you buy the ticket, take the ride on the book. It's enjoyable for me to get the insights to somebody's inner workings. I like to understand the psychology of why someone does something, their motivations for how they behave and how they deal with things. It's really interesting for me. I don't know if it's because I love doing theater and performing at times, or if it's because I just am curious about how other people are. In fact, I read a lot of true crime as well, more so than mysteries and thrillers in some ways, partially because I can come to terms with what somebody has done if I can understand the why. I may not approve of what they did, but if I can understand why they did it, it's suddenly, I go, okay, it's not okay that they did it, but okay, I understand what happened, how they got twisted to where they are. But some people I did during my research find out that some people criticized some of the, quote, cliches, and some people really enjoyed the ending and were surprised by it. So it's kind of interesting how the breakdown can go either way for people. Like I said, it has a lot to do with emotions and inner reflection and whatnot, and one person's experiences. And you only see other people's reactions to her experiences through her eyes and through her interpretation. Hopefully this makes it a little more clear, and I didn't give out too many spoilers, I hope. But I hope you have a great day. And again, if you'd forgotten somehow, my name is Mary Elizabeth Parker, and my channel is Mary Parker Mary Parker. This is only my second video, and hopefully I'll keep them up. I'm hoping to get up to 2 videos per week. Really hoping, gonna work on getting that there. If not, at least 1 per week until then. And check out my Facebook page, which is the Facebook Mary Parker Mary Parker. I have Twitter, Mary P Mary P. I've started to play a little bit with Snapchat and Instagram, but not as much as the other two. Mostly it's still Facebook and YouTube. If you do want to support my beginnings of doing the YouTube videos and my ability to grow, including maybe putting some decorations on my background here, or making a screen for the background, feel free to visit my Patreon page. Again, it's Mary Parker Mary Parker. Or I actually started making a wish list on Amazon just as a long shot. I saw somebody else had done that. You don't have to buy me anything. You don't have to donate if you don't want to. Do what you feel is right. But every little bit does help, so I thought, why not set these things up just in case? But I hope you all have a great day, and I hope you enjoy reading your books, and if you enjoy this kind of book, check it out. Again, it comes out, I believe it was July. If that's wrong, I will probably put it in the description as well. Actually, no, I will put it in the description as well when it is that this book comes out in the States. There are sites you can order online to get British editions of books. I oftentimes for British editions will go to bookdepository.com. It's always new books there, but it's free shipping worldwide and it's British editions. So for me that works out nicely, but otherwise also check out bookfinder.com. Neither of these places are paying me for this. I just want to make sure. I have no sponsors at this point. But these are just sites that I find helpful. Bookfinder.com is not a seller themselves. They are a database of the online sellers pretty much. Most of the sellers. I found out recently, a lot of Danish books not on there. That is a work-related thing though. But at the same time, you can find less expensive books, and I would say check the shipping out. Sometimes that's where people make their money, even on Amazon. They'll mark a book as being 99 cents and then charge you $10 shipping. And what's the point when you could buy it for $5 and free shipping? So I just want to give that piece of advice out there. I hope you are all having a wonderful day and enjoying my videos so far. Feel free to comment below and give me some advice or ask questions, and I will do my best to make sure I get back to you. Thank you again. I keep rambling, I'm sorry. Thank you, have a great day.